Oh, you can't hear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, please, what is your time? I want to know the time difference.
My time is 12:05 p.m.
Okay. Noon. Noon, right? Noon.
Yeah, noon.
Yeah. It is 6:35 here in the evening.
New Zealand.
Yes. So it is 6.5 hours.
Mm.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
ahead 6.5 hours. Okay. Yeah. Because sometimes it's 7.5 hours. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Uh yeah, last week
Mm.
I thought it was 7:30. So thank God I went early.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mary ma'am, please start ma'am.
Huh. Good afternoon. Adab. Namaskar. I cordially invite you all to this today international conference on multidisciplinary research in women empowerment 2026. Venue is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, Telangana. Strong women, stronger world. Together we rise, together we lead. Since we are collaborating with ISSMWA, SSMWA, it is my proud privilege to mention about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University was is the first open university in India and was started in the year 1982. By and large, we have 1,300 courses, including BEd distance mode, BEd special education, certificate, diplomas, and other programs. ISSMWA has been doing since 2017 a cordial and qualitative work. In the coming discussion, I will talk more about that. As National Co-Head, Women SSMWA, Women Cell, I am Professor G. Mary Sunanda, Professor and HOD, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University Education. Our education department was started in the year 2008 at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. If I compare women empowerment to a vehicle, then it has so many wheels. It begins with self-sufficiency, interest, and strong desire, that runs finances accounts. If you give a woman two things, women empower education or what you call finance, she will choose finance first. Okay. Then the parents, dear and near ones, cooperation is like, like what petrol or diesel, it works, like without which it is very difficult. Then skills are very important, not the education. Then later on comes the education. Okay. So like this, women empowerment, if I compare to a vehicle, has so many things like tires, education, skills. Okay. Family, parents, near and dear ones, cooperation, community cooperation, finance, self-sufficiency, uh, so on and so forth. It is a responsibility. It has no particular season to talk about women empowerment. Okay, it has different levels also. Like how you should give a woman empowerment to a woman, like start from the existing place, start from the existing level, take that existing level to another level. Okay. then all of a sudden we can't catch hold of a woman and say that you do this for this, we can't do. Okay, so like that, there are certain levels, women empowerment begins at girls empowerment, okay, youth empowerment, women empowerment, and finally adult empowerment, okay, digital skills, okay. So for learning there is no bar, okay, so lifelong learning, okay. So once again I just repeat the conference theme, like two-day international conference on multidisciplinary research in women empowerment 2026, co-hosted, collaborated in between ISSMWA, SSMWA, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Jubilee Hills, Telangana, Hyderabad. Okay, so now I welcome cordially and with a wholehearted thing all the resource persons and chief guest speakers present, attending, and joined this GMeet Today International Conference. It is my proud privilege to welcome Professor Dr. Siham Al-Kafafi, President of Conference, Vice Chancellor, Open University of Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, abbreviated as QUEED, and Professor of Adult Education Department, Auckland, New Zealand, and Advisory Board Member, SSMWA. Okay, I welcome you, ma'am, and this is your platform, and you are welcome to give your insights and powerful observations on this occasion. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Mary. I'm humbled by your introduction. It's always wonderful to be with you in this space, and especially to talk about a very important topic today. I am going to be sharing with you my slides.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. So you can see it. So this is the title of my presentation, From Voice to Agency, Advancing Women's Empowerment Through Transformative Learning. It is actually a pleasure to be here with you today and to talk about this important topic from New Zealand, Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud. It is the evening here and it's the middle of your day. As we all know that this topic, women's empowerment, it's actually recognized globally. It is a critical thing that drives social, economic, and educational development. So we see this reflected in international frameworks, such as the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG Goal 5, which calls for gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. So we also need to look closely at all the initiatives that has been developed, conducted, and practiced, all the policies that is emphasizing mainly on access. So when they say access, they are advocating for women to have access to education, access to employment, access to opportunities in order to be able to participate in the society. While there is actually a necessary need that we actually be part of it. It's not only sufficient to have access. So we need to address that important point, as you can see. So we are overlooking the other dimensions of empowerment. And this is the transformation that occurs within the individuals. So if we're going to look at true empowerment, it is not just about being given opportunities, but it's about developing the confidence, the critical awareness and the agency to recognize and to claim and act upon those opportunities. So that shift from external provision to internal transformation forms the foundation of my presentation with you today. Can you still see the
Ma'am, your slide is not moving.
Okay. Is it gone now?
Yes.
Let us try it again. Okay. Okay. Can you see now?
No.
Yes, you can see it.
Yeah, I can see, but it is on first slide only.
Yeah. Okay. So the main objective for my presentation today is actually to talk about that transformative learning offers a powerful framework for understanding and advancing women's empowerment. So by fostering critical reflection, self-awareness, and identity transformation, adult education, in this case, can move beyond knowledge transmission in order to support women in developing voice and agency. So if we're going to look at, as I mentioned to you, when we are looking at women empowerment, there is a focus for access and more than participation. So we need to transform that. So there is a need for a transformation from the voice to agency. And I would like to share with you that figure to demonstrate to you how the conceptual model of identifying narrative transformation and post-traumatic growth. So if you are going to look at this figure, you are going to find that there are internal and external imposed restrictions. So there are things that's to do with the race, with traumas, with questioning who we are, what we're doing, and what has been imposed by us as women through culture, so societal norms. And then what we go through in this transformation in order to be more proactive and more active and more participating within our societies through the concept and the process of transformation. So if we're going to look here, if we want to discuss the issue, the topic of empowerment, I would like to refer to Kaper in 1999, where he actually explained the concept of empowerment by looking at 3 core dimensions. And those dimensions is, the first one is the resources. When he says that for us to be able to access, as I mentioned, education, economic opportunities, and also to have the support within the systems, within the policies. Then the other dimension is the agency, which is our ability to make choices. So when we grasp all the empowerment and we start having our own identity, when we're questioning our values and know how to deal with it, then we will be able to act upon that, which will lead to the third dimension, which is the achievement, reaching our goals and our outcomes in real life. Also, one of the important things that we need to look at when we're talking about this topic is actually power, and what are those dimensions of power. And Roland was talking about different dimensions of power. So he talked about the power over, which is, in other words, control. So in order to control others. And then the power to, which is the ability to act and create change so that we can become agents of change. And then there is the power with, which is the collectiveness, the collaboration, the working together in order to have strength and work together. Then there is the power within, which is the most important one of them all. It is the one that moves us. It is to do with our own self-beliefs, self-awareness, our confidence. We cannot have this without the others. So it all depends. We have to go through those different dimensions in order to reach the power within. Then moving to a transformative learning and its role and how can it support us in empowering women, we look at two important social scientists, Mesereau and Feria. Mesereau says that this perspective is transformation that can happen when we start having and actually mastering critical reflections, reflecting on our values, being aware of it, questioning it in order to unlearn to learn. Okay, and then move to action. In relation to Feria said that there is important through critical consciousness and also helping through social transformation. So learning here as a process, it is to support us for change, changing how we are thinking, changing how we see things. And accordingly, it will help us in order to change our attitudes, our behavior, and of course, our actions. Okay, so if we're going to look at when we are moving through empowerment, we have to go through different phases. And that figures demonstrate to you those different steps of this empowerment process. So the first thing, an important one, is that we need to have the right information. We need to know and understand what is our responsibilities. So we need to be proactive in this phase. Accordingly, that will lead to the reflection. It will lead us to understand that we have the locus of control within us. And accordingly, that gives us self-esteem. And accordingly, we will feel happy and satisfied with our beliefs and our values. And this will lead to performance. And when you perform, of course, you're going to have outcomes, reaching your goals. So if we're going to take each part of the process of transformation through learning, we need to look at the first thing is the voice. So the voice is when you are expressing yourself, when you are telling your story, when you are expressing what is your perspective, what are your take on those matters. So we look at the voice here, that it is actually the gateway to empowerment. It helps us in the road of transformation. Then if we are going to move to the next phase in this model, which is reflection, we reflect on our values, our concepts, our beliefs, and we question why things are happening in this manner and this way. How can we make it better? And that will help us in order to be aware of our own identity, our own beliefs. And here, transformation begins when we actually know and identify and know how we are being and why we are being and why we are acting in those certain ways. Then that moves us to agency. And agency here is the development of self-efficacy. So it is knowing our beliefs and succeeding. And it's the capacity to make informed decision and purposeful actions. So agency here transforms the beliefs into action and actually empowers us in this journey. So if we're going to look at all the underlying pedagogical implications through that journey, we look at the safe spaces, how we start trusting, how this is impacting on our expressions and feeling trustworthy. Also, there is a dialogue that is being open when learning. So we learn through sharing our experiences. We look also at experiential learning and also reflective practices. So transformative pedagogy does not actually teach the learners, but it doesn't tell them how to think, but it actually empowers them that they will be able to rethink their original perspectives. So discussion-wise, if we look at transformative learning and empowerment, it actually brings together and bridging any gaps between the internal and the external dimensions of empowerment. It focuses on critical reflection, identity transformation, as per Mesereau's research. If we are going to go beyond the traditional policy measures, we always focus on quantifiable outcomes like enrollment rates, employment figures. But if we're going to look at transformative learning, that actually concentrates on outcomes, and that would give us confidence, voice, self-awareness, and empowered identity. This has been drawn from all those theoretical foundations of Feria, Capper, Rowlands, and Mesereau. So with all that, we need to be also aware about the key challenges when implementing that model. There is always people who don't like change, or they prefer to stay in the traditional pedagogy. So accordingly, there will be a resistance. There is also sometimes influences that we are restricted by cultural norms, gender expectations, institution limitations. So we have a rigid curricula that we have to follow, sometimes outcome-driven systems and limited recognition of qualitative learning. So in order to address those, we need to work together. We need to have a collaborative approach where educators, policymakers, and communities come together, unite in order to support each other and work on it, to create an environment that we have this voice, we have this dialogue, we reflect, we question our own beliefs, our own values, unlearn in order to be able to learn, to look at a more culturally responsive learning, to look at new participatory educational models. So in conclusion, empowerment is a transformative process, not one single outcome. So it begins with the voice, and it needs to be heard and recognized. It evolves through reflection, identity transformation. So it is strengthened by agency and self-efficacy, and it is realized through meaningful action. So as you can see, if for women, they can move forward through their voice, through the reflections, through their actions. True empowerment is realized not in what we know, but in what we become and what we dare to do. Well, they say, give a woman a voice and she will speak. Empower her and she will transform the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your transformatory presentation. And your topic was from voice to agency, advancing women's empowerment through transformative learning. The best takeaways are resources, agency, achievement, confidence, self-awareness. Voice is the gateway. Pedagogy to rethink. It is not a single outcome, what we become. No, it is not a single outcome. It is a multidisciplinary thing. You have mentioned so many things, madam. I really thank you for your presence and joining and motivating all of us with your evergreen presence, smile, and the content and powerful speech. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Allah. God bless you.
Now, this is my proud privilege to welcome Professor Dr. Santa Datta, former BC University of Calcutta, Department of Home Science, University of Calcutta, West Bengal. And Madam is also a member of Advisory Board, SSMWA. Ma'am, Shanta Datta ma'am, are you please kindly unmute and let us see you.
Yes.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible? Yes, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Respected Professor Dr. Siham, Professor G. Mary, and the President of the conference, all the faculties of Department of Education, PR Ambedkar Open University, distinguished scholars, young researchers, colleagues, and friends. It is an honor to address this gathering on multidisciplinary research in women empowerment 2026 as chief guest. If the 20th century asks, why empower women? The 21st century asks, how do we design empowerment that actually works? We meet in 2026, a year where three realities collide. First, data. India's female labor force participation has crossed 37%. Yet the gender pay gap in the gig economy remains above 28%. Second, technology. Generative AI and many other technological development regards health, climate, etc., are trying to rewrite what work and welfare means. Third, law and society. From the Women's Reservation Act to new maternity and digital safe framework, policy is moving. But if we make policy or rules without fact, it's just a wish. And if we have facts but don't look at them from different angles, we still won't solve the problem. That is why multidisciplinary research is no longer academic fashion, it is necessity. To design solutions, we must first name the ground reality. Women's empowerment is not an accident. Women's disempowerment is not an accident. It has deep social causes and persistent barriers. That are the key social causes. Patriarchal norms, the belief that women's primary role in domestic care still shapes schooling and the job choices. Number two, unequal socialization. From childhood, girls are often trained from compliance, while boys are trained for risk and ambition. Number three, economic dependence. Lack of asset ownership, inheritance rights in practice, and unpaid care work keep women financially vulnerable. Number four, early marriage and interrupted education. Despite legal safeguard, social pressure continues to short, cut short educational development. What the key barriers that sustain these empowerment? Number one, safety and mobility, fear of harassment in the public spaces and transport, directly reduces access to education and work. Number two, digital divide. Lower smartphone ownership and digital literacy among women means exclusion from services, markets, and information. Number three, healthcare gap. Anemia, maternal health, and mental health are under prioritized, reducing productive capacity. Number four, time poverty. Women spend 2.5 to 3 times more hours on unpaid care work, leaving little time for skilling or enterprise. These causes and barriers are deep rooted in our social structure. They form a system, and systems cannot be unlocked by one key. An economist alone will see the wages, a sociologist will see the norms, a data scientist will see the data, a public health scholars will see anemia. We need all four at the same table. Let me focus on the thought of B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. Ambedkar said, I measure the progress of a community by the degree of progress which women achieved. Multidisciplinary work is hard. It demands a shared vocabulary, patience of slower publication of papers, and funding models that reward collaboration over silos. So, what to do in 2026? Number one, PhD Research Advisory Committee, that is RAC, for multidisciplinary research should be created in every university. Professor of different faculties should represent in the committee as per rule. So far, I know in West Bengal, Jadavpur University has a RAC for multidisciplinary research work, where many scholars and different subjects were completed their PhD. Number two, for this, funds should be allotted from funding agencies. Number three, anonymized interlinked data sets should be created on health, education, and employment so economists and historians can work on the same file. To the young scholars here, do not become brilliant in isolation. The most cited paper in 2030 will not be the purest theory paper. It will be the paper that helps a district magistrate cut maternal death or helped a startup design a safe mobility app or helped a panchayat double girls' secondary completion. That means research should be for the people, for the society. Women empowerment is not a woman's issue. It is a challenge for society. The social causes are systemic. The barriers are interconnected. Multidisciplinary research gives us some way to implement knowledge into society. As chief guest, my request is simple. Let this conference not end with proceedings. Let it end with partnerships. A lawyer, a coder, and a field sociologist should leave the conference with a WhatsApp group and a 90-day pilot that attacks at least one barrier we named today. Because in the end, empowerment is not what we write, it is what we change. It is very challenging and we must do it. Thank you and wish your deliberations every success. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your thought-provoking speech, scintillating and very good observations. The observations were very touching the all the listeners, research scholars, and other participants. the major things that you have touched is economy. Economist talks about wages, sociologist talks about norms, anemia, data, and all. The takeaways are like empowerment is not happening by accident. No, it is not a issue of a woman. It is a social issue, it is a community issue and society issue, policy matter, etc. The recommendations that you gave for universities and also for up and coming research scholars are very good, madam. And thanks for your blessings for this women empowerment today international conference should result in collaborations. I really thank you from my bottom of my heart for your grand speech, talk, and maintaining the time. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you once again. On behalf of ISSMWA and on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Open University Department of Education. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's my proud pleasure. I cordially invite Dr. Bless Marisser B. Ramos, International Head Women, ISSMWA, SSMWA, Women's Cell, Department of Education, Philippines, Advisory Board Member, SSMWA, to throw some light on the subject of women empowerment taken up collaboratively by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University and by ISSMWA, Gwalior. Thank you. I welcome you, ma'am. I welcome you. Kindly, please take the
Good
platform.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Professor Mary. Good afternoon to our esteemed guests and, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I have the honor of addressing a topic that is vital for the progress of any society, which is women empowerment, particularly through the lens of education. Okay, so as we gather here, it is important to actually recognize that empowering women is not just a moral imperative, but a strategic necessity for sustainable development and, of course, global prosperity. Okay. So education is the most powerful tool we possess to foster women's empowerment. Why? It's because it opens doors to opportunities, to broaden horizons, and instills confidence. When women are educated, they gain the ability to make informed choices about their lives, their health, and of course, their future. Education helps women break free from cycles of poverty and discrimination, enabling them to become active contributors to their communities and economies. But to truly understand the importance of women's empowerment through education, we must also address the crucial aspect of equity, which is the fair and just inclusion of women alongside men. Okay, so equity does not mean giving women the same treatment as men in every situation. So rather, it means recognizing the different circumstances women face and ensuring they have access to the same opportunities to succeed. Okay, so historically, women have been marginalized and denied equal access to education and resources. This inequality has hindered not only individual women, but entire societies. When women are denied education, society suffers a loss of talent, innovation, and of course, even diversity of thought. To achieve true progress, we need to eliminate the gender gaps in education and ensure that women are given the same opportunities encouragement, and even support as men. Equity and education means providing girls and women with the resources they need to succeed, whether that is scholarships, safe learning environments, or policies that challenge societal norms that restrict their participation. It also means challenging stereotypes that suggest women are less capable or less deserving of education and leadership roles. When we foster an environment of equity, we create a society where every individual's potential can flourish regardless of gender. Furthermore, women's empowerment through education has a ripple effect. So, educated women tend to invest more in their children's health and education, leading to healthier, more educated generations. They are more likely to participate in decision-making processes, even advocate for their rights, and contribute to economic growth. Because when women are empowered, entire communities thrive. So, despite these benefits, millions of girls and women around the world still face barriers, from cultural norms to economic hardships, from conflicts to lack of infrastructure. It is our collective responsibility to work towards removing these barriers and creating an inclusive environment where every girl has access to quality education. So, in conclusion, women's empowerment through education is not just an aspiration, it is an essential foundation for building equitable, just, and prosperous societies. Also, investing in women's education and ensuring equity is investing in the future of humanity itself. Okay, so let us all commit to breaking down barriers, challenging stereotypes, and even fostering an environment where every woman and girl can realize her full potential. Because when women rise, society rises with them. With all of that, thank you very much and good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your what you call potential speech on women empowerment. And you have spoken from the different perspective and also from different point of view. The best takeaways are like, when women are empowered, country thrives. Any country develops fast if women are empowered. Okay, so then education opens the door for global prosperity just when women are empowered. And though quality education is on and off talked by all the speakers all over the globe, but still you emphasized quality education because it is not given everywhere. Okay, so education leads to equity, and resources needed for women empowerment should be given, should be talked about, should be discussed. Women have diversity and talent, and they should not be marginalized. Thank you for instilling confidence. Though you mentioned about some of the regular things, but still they are so potential, they are so motivating, and they are so helpful in what you call in doing our research and carrying out our profession, and making it as a collective responsibility, okay, to achieve women empowerment. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you to have you on our today international conference on behalf of ISSMWA and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University Department of Education. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for delivering such a good speech. My next participant, chief guest speaker, Dr. Anupama Chaudhary, Principal, Women's College, Calcutta, West Bengal, India. Ma'am, I welcome you on this today International Conference on Women Empowerment hosted by ISSMWA and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, Telangana. This is your time, ma'am. We would like to hear from you on this today international conference. Ma'am?
Thank you, madam. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
so very good afternoon from India and namaskar, namaste. It's really my proud privilege and an honor to join you all, a galaxy of stars in education that I see. My special thanks, gratitude goes to Women Cell, SSMWA, ISSMWA, and B.R. Ambedkar Open University. To Professor G. Mary Sunanda, Professor Dr. Sihan, Professor Dr. Shankar Doctor, Professor Bless Marisa, and all others, to all the esteemed participants, to all the speakers, a huge thank you. It's really an honor to share the days with you in this Google Meet platform. My paper is titled Towards an Inclusive and Sustainable Women Empowerment. Now, the very words inclusive and sustainable, this is the need of the hour. Now, a few days back, we had our International Women's Day. Therefore, we are talking about rights, justice, action. And what is the need? To ensure gender justice. The theme of International Women's Day 2026, and it's very important for us to note that it was Give Today. Only when we had participatory the process of giving, then only we can gain certain things. And this emphasizes the power of reciprocity. Because nobody is alone in this universe. And therefore, providing support to women or men doesn't matter. It brings in a specific form of empowerment for all. When we talk about that, the first thing that comes, we are talking about certain binaries, because if there were no binaries, then what was the need of talking about like empowerment and other things? Therefore, we are talking about margin, we are talking about center. Whenever we're talking of margin, what are the politics at play? By politics, I mean the quality of presentation. Therefore, it's about caste, gender, sexuality, religion, etc. So all these things together, even bodily rights or having an able body, that means we're talking about disability rights, disability theories, etc. We're talking about spatial margin, we are talking about the gender dimension. Here, I'll bring to your notice a very important convention given by Professor Amartya Sen. And it is the term missing women. Now, what does it mean by that? It's not that they're missing as such physically, but their voices are not heard. Just before this, Professor Doctor and other speakers, esteemed speakers, they were referring to also unpaid labor. They were referring to unpaid care also. So, on daily basis, some of the voices remain muted, and therefore, these together, the total unclear left over there, causes a kind of missing, a kind of not being represented. Therefore, the politics of representation, it becomes a contested space. Contested space between what? And therein lies my research questions. It is about representation of the subject, and it is also about self-presentation. As a woman, how am I presenting myself? And what is your opinion about me? Because that forms the politics of identity also. When you are talking about agency, therefore the primary thing comes to our mind is power structures. Because until and unless we talk about the power structures, center margin doesn't hold at all. So what happens when we know that these are constructs, both center and margin are constructs. What happens when this construct is rearranged, is challenged, etc. Now from here, I will try to show you a picture, and this is important at least for me. This picture, this slide, gives us the Greco-Roman myth of Dibutadus. It talks about the dilemma of presentation. It's a very famous painting, Joseph Wright's painting, and it is the picture of first painting, the first painting we ever had. Here you see there are two figures. There was this beautiful woman, and she was the maid of Corinth. Corinth is a place, as you all know. Her lover was about to leave, and in those years, we didn't have cameras, videos, etc. So she took the man to her father's pottery, where there was a lamplight. There was a lamplight, and she held the lamplight in her hand, and with that light, that formed a shadow of the man, she tried to draw the silhouette. Now, when she was trying to draw the margin, what she was looking at? She was looking at the shadow, not in the real figure. You see over there? If I draw from the shadow, I'm looking at the shadow also. Therefore, when you talk about presentation, it's very important to understand that who are the policy makers and what are the grassroots people out there who are striving to attain empowerment in their own way. Therefore, this dilemma presentation, politics of representation is very important. Therefore, is there a way to do representation right? For example, I have a forum this afternoon from India and where I can voice out my thoughts. So if I'm voicing it, am I voicing it right? Am I presenting the other women out there in America, in England, in India, in other places as well? So is my voice the authentic voice? And who gets to know what is authentic and what is not? So that is also very important. Therefore, we need to address the gaps, silences, who is presenting whom, lucky me, etc. Therefore, these empowerments in the plural form comes from different intersectional zones. And therefore, the structures which try to inhibit certain things, that try to bring us down in the form of not giving us the voices, these actually give also a way towards empowerment and agency. And this brings to our mind the very Foucauldian power structures, the very important ways to understand how knowledge is related to power and hierarchy and how it is manufactured through discourse. Because in a seminar, what we are doing is actually we are referring to discourses. And therefore, we need to have intersectional approach. Therefore, equality always comes from equity. So as the other speakers, the honorable speakers were saying, financial equity and other equities as well. And there we need to understand that we need also to talk about women in the larger sense. What about in the LGBTQAI+ community or even the transgender female body? So if we're talking about the body of a female, then we have to take the other forms of the feminine wave also. Therefore, we bring into contention the center-margin theory by bell hooks. It brings in an ability to move within any or all circles in having the sense of agency. I refer to center-margin theory of bell hooks. I come to a very important voice, Gloria Steinem. She says the gender-equal society would be one where the word gender does not exist. So it's a sorry state for us that we have to meet and we are talking about empowerment in a specific dimension. So we need to think about that the day is very important when there be no concept of gender. Therefore, from second sex, where we are saying that one is not born but becomes a woman, for me, all it is not. From there, we know that gender dimensions can be like broad time. Therefore, gender is not something that one is. It is something one does, an act of doing rather than of being. Therefore, we are talking about other genders as well. We have 76 genders plus. So all genders are equally valid. My point is simple. If I'm talking about the female, not only talk about female body as such or female mind as such, but talk about other alternative approaches as well. I am referring to voices from the margin. Therefore, I bring in a Bohujan activist voice. She says that acknowledge your privilege and stop occupying all spaces. This is important to understand that there are other referential points as well. We are talking about Dalit, we are talking about subalterns, and we are talking about also the spatial and cultural constraints. We talked about goal 5 in SDG, sustainable development goals. But the problem is that when you're talking about gender equality, the sign over there, it talks about male and female. Then what about the female representation in the other ways also? What about the transgender female? What about the other ways of representation? Therefore, we are talking about equality, equity, but the goal is one, we should have sustainable power. We know the global employability rate of men is 94% as per the data goes, while for women it is still at 63%, which is a very sorry state of things. Therefore, 2030 agenda for sustainable development is turning promises into action. And we talk about two different dimensions, women's role in economic development, WED, and women's role in environmental development, WED. It's very important that women should participate in environment development, not only through grassroots level work, but also through different ways of taking into policies and framing those. Therefore, margin we are talking, so it is talking about also the female body. When the female body has empowerment, therefore it goes away from the dimension of being rendered docile under the domination of patriarchy, where the body becomes a practical, direct locus of social control. Therefore, as Irigiri mentioned, it is important for us to guard and keep our own bodies, and at the same time, take them or make them emerge from the silence and subjugation. Therefore, be it Dalit women, be it representation, we talk about Kusumatra, we talk about Jyoti Lanjivar, Terasamma, Hira Bansu, there's so many names out there. When we were talking about margin also, disability rights, disability movements, and the ways the able bodies are taken into account should be also remembered. I give in reference 6 important books, and I think for the young researchers, this is also important. One Little Finger by Malini Chip. She had cerebral palsy. It's a beautiful book where she talks about women empowerment, but through a different angle altogether. We are talking about River of Time by Jija Ghosh, No Looking Back by Shivani Gupta, Naseem, My Incredible Story. This is another book by Rukmini Shekhar. We talk about other senses, and we also talk about The Soul Flies by Yashmin Shavar. We are talking about 21st century. So we are talking about also the Gen Z, the very term that is in thing today. So I refer to a very important book, Smashing the Patriarchy, a guide for the 21st century Indian woman. So since I am a voice from India, we need to represent India in different platforms. And I know policy making comes only through interaction, only through interdisciplinary actions also, and interdisciplinary natures of those as well. Therefore, while referring to women who play diverse and critical roles in the economies of a country, we are talking about gender economy. For the year 2023, it was digital. And today we are talking about AI. Therefore, women's participation, as Professor Doctor was telling us, the ways mobile phones are used and how women should also have their own access to those kinds of networks, mobile phones, etc. And therefore, it's very important also to know our rights in webs. So cyber pornography, cyber bullying, cyber stalking, cyber blackmailing, defamation, morphing, these things are also important. The gig economy is coming into the forefront. It's very important to understand that how gig economy is going to shape out women empowerment in the coming years. We are also talking about inclusive green economic growth, which is known as just transition. The way the women are voicing in the green economy of a country, be it India, be it anywhere else, also in this world. We're also talking about women's participation in queer economics. I refer to a very important book by Joyce Jacobson, Queer Economics, a reader. And the purpose is to show how heteronormativity affects economic outcomes while also challenging traditional assumptions about gender and sexual identities in economic context. This is also important. So, before my conclusion, I wish to say that we need to work hand in hand, and this rise will be together. So even if there are certain problems, I quote Maha Anjali, did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise, I rise. So, मेरी बहनें मांगे आजादी, this was the form. We want freedom from everything that puts us down. Therefore, it's about freedom in every sense of the term. The margin and binary is negligible. Once we come together in forming policies, in doing research together, in opening interdisciplinary discourse and research, in taking actions, in making formulations together as a participatory body, center margin can be like gotten together where everything is evaluated. So writing from the margin becomes also writing from the center. Thank you so much. Thank you. Namaskar once again.
Please unmute, ma'am. Please unmute. Mary ma'am, please unmute. Mary ma'am, your voice off. Mary ma'am, please check your mic.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. You have began your talk with to ensure gender justice, give to gain, and you have mentioned so many aspects in it, from local to global, and missing woman, who is representing whom. Thank you for giving a new definition to agency, gender equality, masculine and feminine roles and discourses, gender blender. Okay, you mentioned concepts and issues like Dalit, subaltern, sustainable development was the, at the end you have mentioned, and voices from the margin was such a thing, reciprocity. Empowerment is reciprocity. Just like that, one will not get. Okay. So the employability rate of man in the global is 94%, and for women it is 63. It is an eye opener. It is an eye opener to, what should be done in this case. Race, religion, caste, equality comes from equity. Without talking about equity, one has no right to talk about equality. Okay. Gen Z women, self-determination, self-empowerment, and so many things, gig economy. Okay, these are all new. These are all new to some of us, but still we would like to take them away. They are the best takeaways from your speech. And your speech was well structured, inspirational. It has purpose for women empowerment. Your time here with us is very valuable, ma'am. My paper presenters are also listening to you along with the chief guest speakers. Thank you very much, madam, for coming over here, joining with us and sharing your experience with all of us. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart on behalf of ISSMWA and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad. Thank you, ma'am. Then our next chief guest speech is by Dr. Hima Parameshwaran. Good afternoon, ma'am. PhD Associate, CIPD, Associate Professor, HRM College of Business, City University, Ajman, UAE. And Madam is also a member, Advisory Board, SSMWA. Ma'am, now this is your time to share your thoughts with us on the topic of women empowerment on this two-day international conference. Thank you, ma'am. This is your platform.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So pleasure to be here. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. A warm greetings from Dubai. So I'm so proud and so honored for this invitation for this 2 days International Conference on Multidisciplinary Research, Women Empowerment 2026. And by the organizers, Department of Education, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad. And I could see a lot of guest speakers, and I could hear inspirational talks from various experts, veterans, and special thanks to professors, all professors, especially Professor G. Mary Sunanta, this convener of conference. I'm so happy, and let me, yes, all right. So happy, and it's my great pleasure to participate in this wonderful conference. As always, the organizers of ISM, this Welfare Association, Social Science and Management Welfare Association, because I have been attending since 2020. So every time Mr. Brajesh used to invite me, and I could hear like a lot of like it's like a knowledge sharing session. So I could hear from various experts their knowledge, their skills, so I could improve myself. And it's a great pleasure for me to share my knowledge to my students and others as well. Right. So, ma'am, I can share my screen, right, for the PPT?
Yes, ma'am. You can.
All right. Let me see. I hope I can. You can see my screen, right? It's visible.
No, not yet, ma'am. Now it's okay, ma'am.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. Right. Let's start today's presentation with this famous quote, and everyone knows about this quote. I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples. Let it be like for each one of us. Yes, we know that ourselves, like for us, it's not possible, but we together, if we stand together at this time, okay, definitely we can make a change, to the entire world. Myself, Hima Parameswaran, I'm an associate professor, Department of Human Resource Management, College of Business, City University, Ajman, UAE. And today I would like to share some of my ideas or knowledge that I gathered or gained from one of my studies. So women empowerment and achieving society by understanding your own values. So that's very important. So don't wait for someone else or let others to make a change or to tell us about to make a change or something like that. At this moment, I remember one famous wordings of Bill Gates as well, or like famous business man, like business tycoons, like they try to give chances for all employees. Like it's not like giving a prescribed like a description for job or like doing something like task job descriptions. Let others join. Let others do and make something like changes happen to the entire world. So it should be again, that can be practicable to ourselves as well as women. Let us do and let us show that what we can do for our society to make a strong impact. So this is the abstract for the study, because we know that extreme competition in all industries has fueled by global business and uncertain world economy. And you know that every year, or like before it was in 2020 or 2019, the COVID impact, and recently the geopolitical issues. So coupled with these economic, political, technological, and cultural changes have profound effects on the world of career. So that's why here I took this topic as a part of career development as well, because I am into HRM department, so I can link this human empowerment or women empowerment, especially with human resource development. And the workforce becomes increasingly diverse worldwide. So organizations too need to diverse in its system structure, and a strategic paradigm of women empowerment can strengthen the diversity effectively, which in turn enhance the organizational productivity and competitiveness. So my focus is like how the organization development can be maintained or effective work system with the help of or inclusion of women. I remember at this moment, again, I remember one quote by a quote or a or some kind of information by board she's a writer, like a story a book related with diversity. See, for example, we are invited for a party. Just imagine we have been invited for a party, but we are not participating in that. For example, a dance party, we are going, we have been invited, but we are not able to participate, or we are not able to be, because we are a good singer. We imagine that I am a good singer, or you are a good singer, or you are a good dancer, but you are not able to dance, you are not able to sing. Then what's the use of going to the party, right? So that comes importance of diversity and inclusion. So if women are here, so diversity is here. Okay, we are in job, if you see, recently I heard another one, like another podcast by the CEO, the PepsiCo CEO, Indira Nooyi. So she was explaining that we are the ladies, or the women are everywhere in family. We have to take care of our family, we have to take care of our job, we have to take care of our kids, we have to take, because when it comes to our spouse, they are children. So in front of us, everyone immature. And for example, parents, our in-laws. So we have to take part in various roles. But when it comes to us, like how much inclusive we are. So that's very important. See, we everywhere we can see the diversity. So the study aims to remove the bottlenecks related to gender concerns and the glass ceiling effect to career management among women. So we can see the glass ceiling effect everywhere, even from our family as well. I believe so, but a lot of changes had happened, and hope for the best as well. So in this context, the study is based on the randomly selected industrial sectors in India by stratified proportional sampling amongst 300 employees. And a survey method using a closed-ended questionnaire and interactions having 3 indicators like managing diversity, individual mastery, and personal inventiveness are utilized for this data collection. And again, the confirmatory factor analysis was done. And this addresses the characteristics and benefits of career development amongst women and offers a roadmap for modernization and transformation. Without any doubt, this model tailored from the study can be a manifesto in empowering women by realizing their values in societal development. And there are some recent statistics to show about the highlighting about this women empowerment. So in 2026, this shows a mixture of steady gains in local representation and significant hurdles in executive leadership and economic parity. According to the latest reports from United Nations Women and the World Economic Forum, there are some kind of updated statistics. First one is global gender parity, the gap status. As of 2025, the global gender gap is 68.8% closed. While this is a modest improvement from previous years, progress remains slow. And another one is, at the current rate of progress, full global gender parity is not projected to be reached until 2148, like approximately 123 years until now. And top performance, for example, Iceland remains the world's most gender equal country, having closed 92.6% of its gap. And it's followed by Finland, Norway, and the United Kingdom. Coming to the political leadership 2026 data, executive power, as of January 1, 2026, there are only 28 countries with women serving as heads of state or government. Regarding to the parliamentary representation, women now hold 27.5% of parliamentary seats globally. While this is an all-time high, the growth rate has slowed to just 0.3% annually over the last 2 years. Coming to cabinet ministers, women make up 22.4% of cabinet members worldwide. However, they are still primarily concentrated in soft portfolios like women and gender equality, family affairs, and social inclusion. Only 7 countries have achieved 50% or more women in their lower or single houses of parliament, including Rwanda at 64%, Cuba 57%, and the United Arab Emirates 50%. Economic participation, about labor force, global female labor force participation is approximately 57.1 as of early 2026. Management gap, it's about women represent 41.2% of the total global force. They hold only 28.8% of top management roles. The care concentration. Women remain disproportionately employed in lower paid sectors. For example, 58.5% of those in healthcare and 52.9% in education are women. So you can see that where the women are more into it. As we know, that is in education and healthcare, because we are more empathetic, sympathetic. So that quality is like more, we should have that more emotional skill. So that differs from men. So that is a very good positive quality for women. So this statistics proves that. Why? Because women are more empathetic. So because of the AI and all, I don't believe that as women can be removed much from these areas because of these soft skills. So this is that, again, it is related with HR. So key challenges and new priorities like digital empowerment. Closing the gender digital divide is now a top global priority. Estimates suggest that achieving digital inclusion for women could generate almost $1.5 trillion windfall dollars in global GDP by 2030. And UN Women's 2026 focus highlights that women are disproportionately affected by climate change. That is, new feminist climate justice frameworks are being developed to ensure women have a seat at the table in environmental policy. Poverty. If current trends continue, an estimated 351 million women and girls will still be living in extreme poverty by 2030, underscoring the urgent need for targeted financial interventions. So the path to parity is currently moving fastest in Europe and Latin America, while Central and Southern Asia continue to face the largest gaps in political and economic representation. So again, these are some of the statistics. I'm not going into detail about this one, as I mentioned before. Where are the areas where the developments are happening and in the future directions. The significance of the study is like O'Neill and Bill Moria point out career amongst women are fragmented and discontinuous than men's career due to the lack of role models, the persistence of a dominant masculine culture, and continued stereotyping and gendered role workforces. So these are the major, as many ladies here, we know that these because this is one of the studies, and many of us can feel that, okay, we face these problems or not. Why we are, where we are lacking, or why we are, or where we are right now. I'm not telling more. You can analyze yourself that where you are right now. Is it because of stereotyping? But I'm so happy to see that many of us ladies in this, like guest speakers, keynote speakers, are in high position. So we can change this one, and we can make a book about changing these aspects. But still, we cannot see only from like a tip of iceberg. We have to look down. So we can see still stereotyping, gendered role workforces, but masculine culture is still persists. So to address various issues of inequity and discrimination in organizations, the three variables that I have selected, like managing diversity, subjective mastery, and personal inventiveness. So that's very important. So the objectives of the study are to identify the role of managing diversity in eliminating, glass ceilings in organizations, to find the need of subjective mastery, like why it is important that we should have that mastery for we should have our own mastery in this area to reduce the glass ceiling effect, to explore the necessity of personal interventions in lessening the glass ceilings in organizations. So these are the three variables. And you can see the diversity. I already gave one example, that is how it avoid this discrimination with respect to race, religion, sexual orientation, disability, etc. How to make a mastery over organizational success, like how sorry, it's time is running out.
Ma'am, continue, ma'am.
All right.
Continue.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So personal intervention, like how should be the communication, the social capital, networking, how to empower employees, especially women workforce, as a future work revolves on social dimensions of creativity. So this is a research design. It was like a literature on gender inequalities and discrimination on HRD practices. Even in US and all, they have Civil Rights Act, and it started by 18th century. And in 1964, the Civil Rights Act highlights about the EEOC, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and like how to avoid the discrimination, especially aged above 40. Or for ladies, like for pregnant ladies. So something like that. So a lot of discrimination are still, maybe this is one of the reasons that glass ceiling effect in organizations. And I know that many of, like while talking with my students, they used to tell that is the various kind of, this kind of discriminations, especially with ladies, because during interviews, they will be asked whether they are married or whether they are going to have children recently. So maybe these all things they can they block the high opportunities for ladies. So this was the research design. 28 indicators were there, and latent variables. I already mentioned about the latent variables, and it was like a questionnaire, because it was very difficult to get. And again, maybe there will be bias for this type of questionnaires. However, I felt that I could cover a lot of points, and confirmatory factor analysis was there to see that whether the model was good, whether these three variables can be useful to create a model for women empowerment. So these are some of the tests under Tucker-Lewis index, or like model fit for a standardized root mean square. I'm not going into detail because this is not very important in this aspect. Right, okay. So these are the chi-square test and all the variables, the values about the estimate, standard value, p-values, and about the correlation factors. So this is done by this was done by our programming. So this is a significance of each variable. So the results showed that this model was fit for this test because of these factor analysis and RMCA and Tucker-Lewis index. But some of the questions are not very clear because maybe they felt that's not practicable, or that is maybe some kind of bias or something like that. So we have to see some more evaluation or more study on this one. Okay, these are all the results. All right, so that's finally we reached to here. So yes, so these three variables, these are very important for latent variable. This is hypothesis. So three variables like how to embrace diversity, how to make an individual creativity, and the organizational culture. That's, say, for example, many organizations, the organization culture and climate that makes a person to involve into their job. For example, the organization climate means how do we feel about our organization, and culture means that is shared values, beliefs, everything. So if an organization gives an importance to not only diversity but the inclusiveness, so that is very important. That can improve, or we will get more creativity. We can innovate more. See, for example, according to Hackman's and Oldham's job characteristics model, it's clearly mentioned that whenever or if we do a job, if it is our task, we should understand whether it is skill variety, whether our skills are developing. Because we have to, it's not like only one particular skill, because we have knowledge and skill, but definitely we have to improve our skills, and we have to know that whether what our work or how our work is dependent to the organizational goals, the organizational mission. Otherwise we are doing something like a robot. So we should have that skill variety, task identity, why we are doing our task. We should have that identity for our task. Then task significance, the significance of our task. Then another important thing is autonomy. We should have the freedom. If we have the skills, if we have the knowledge, but if we don't have the freedom to do, similar to our family, if we have our freedom, if the organization provides the opportunity to showcase our talents, definitely the freedom is important. At the same time, constructive feedback. If we don't have the feedback, and that feedback should not be like negative, always complaints, blaming, negativity, we cannot succeed. So we should have a constructive feedback from every corners of the world. So I believe through these three factors, diversity and inclusion, then personal mastery, our qualifications, everything can make a big change to our family, to our society, and to the entire world. So this is my last thing. Every man needs a woman when his life is a mess, because just like the game of chess, the queen protects the king. Thank you so much for your patience and for listening. And I really thank to each one of you, organizers and Mary ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So hopefully we will see again, maybe in some other conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Hema Parameshwaran. Thank you for being so candid in admitting that you have been associated with ISSMWA since 4-5 years. And thanks to Brijesh Sahab. And you began your discussion with Mother Teresa's this thing that is an eye opener and always a motivating factor to to uh, process to help oneself in achieving empowerment. Your quote that you mentioned, don't wait for others to ask you to change, is really alarming, I did not come across. So since you are from a human resource development department, today yours is a quantitative research that mentioned introduction, has hypothesis, variable selection, and then you did some justice to your presentation. Your words were excellent and marvelous. Glass ceiling is nothing but scarcity of women in top leadership positions. Managing diversity, subjective mastery, inclusion, and empowerment, diversity. These are all the very good, important factors and big takeaways, madam. Lastly, autonomy. You have mentioned the data from across the globe, Iceland and other countries. So we are very fortunate to have you on this today International Women Empowerment Conference, ma'am. Very thank you for being so excellent and marvelous on our international conference. I thank from my bottom of my heart on behalf of ISSMWA and on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. Thank you, ma'am, once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I cordially invite, it is my proud privilege to invite Senior Professor Ghanta Pushpa Chakrapani, Senior Professor of Physics, Director Academic and Dean Faculty of Sciences. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad, Telangana State. Good afternoon, Namaste and Adab, Madam. Madam became Director Academic in the year 2024 and currently she is very busy with the ongoing digital skills courses, and in the coming days we will launch language courses in French, Spanish and Japanese, and connecting to this women empowerment the issue, I would like to say, at our university, most of the enrolled students are women. They are better than, the percentage is women. Okay. This is my proud opportunity to welcome you, ma'am, Professor Ghanta Pushpa Chakrapani, ma'am. And this is your time, and we are really honored to have you. We are looking forward to hear some inspiring and motivational talk from you. Thank you, ma'am. You are welcome.
Thank you, Professor Mary Sunanda. Hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening and good afternoon to everybody. Respected Professor Dr. Siham L. Kafafi, President of the conference, and Professor Mary Sunanda, conference convener, and the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, and their participants, and others. It is really a great moment and for me a great honor to speak at this international conference on multidisciplinary research in women's empowerment. I don't have any slides to share, but I'll share my experiences as an insider for more than 30 years in the university. Today, I am going to share my thoughts on the theme empowering women through open and distance learning, a case study of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. So let me begin with a simple but a powerful idea. Everybody says that education is a powerful tool for the transformation of the society and also the empowerment of women. But we must accept that there is a great barrier for access to education which is a real challenge for most of the women and a distant dream for them also. In fact, according to UNESCO, millions of girls and women across the world continue to experience these barriers in completing their education due to social and economic conditions. Even today, we see many women facing many barriers and many problems, like they will get marriages very soon and they have financial constraints, societal expectations, and family responsibilities. And for them to continue their education in the conventional universities is really a big challenge, and it is not possible for them to continue their education in the conventional universities. Here is where the open and distance learning, or ODL, play a transformative role. Many people, including academicians and other professional in the society, they thought that ODL is just an alternative system to the conventional education system. No, this is not an alternative system. Indeed, it is a second chance of the system, because this education system provides flexibility, accessibility, and the freedom to learn without the constraints of time and pace. Particularly for the women, especially those balancing the family and the work. This flexibility is not just a convenient, but it is in a way for them to empowering themselves. Let me now introduce my university where I am working now, where I am sharing my experiences also. This is Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, first open university in India, where we find almost half of the learners are female learners. This institution has emerged as a powerful platform for inclusive education. A significant number of its learners are women from different streams. We find women who had to discontinue their education. We find women who are homemakers seeking self-development, and we find women who are dropouts from their education, and we find women from those for career development and for achieving their career prospects, and we find women, rural women who never had access to higher education, and there are Dalit women who are socially and economically backward, and we find women from downtrodden also. For many of them, enrolling in the university is not just to earn their degree, but for them it is about fulfilling their aspirations, fulfilling their dreams, fulfilling their desires, and also to empower themselves. Let me share a brief experience from our university. There are many women whom we know as a professor in the university since more than 30 years. And I'll just share a simple example. There is a woman who worked as a coolie with their 2 children because she had early marriage and discontinued their education years ago due to family and social circumstances, returning to academic through our Open University system. Initially, many of them come with the hesitation and self-doubt, but gradually, as they engage with the learning process, we can see a great transformation in them. And that lady, after completing her graduation from our university, then she went to USA. She became the CEO of a great company, and she is helping many others. Like that, we find many IAS officers, and a lady very recently appointed as a vice chancellor of Mahila University in Telangana, who did her education from our university. Like that, we find many journalists, many political leaders from those who complete their graduation from our university. So for me, I feel this is a great transformation, because transformation is the true meaning of empowerment. There are a number of stories like this I can say from our university. Let us just think about a typical learner. She may be a mother managing her household, or a young woman who had to drop out due to financial constraints. She may not be able to attend regular classes, but she still carries the desire to learn. This is possible only through open and distance learning because she finds a great opportunity in this system. This is due to our university in Telangana will have more than 120 study centers. Maybe one of the study center is closer to her home. And this, our university provides a self-learning materials, and this is the flexible learning system enable them to continue their education without disturbing their responsibilities. But the real impact goes far behind this education, because I feel always when a woman gains access to education, access to learning, her confidence levels increases, her decision-making ability improves, her participation in family and society becomes more meaningful, and she will be recognized by the society, and she will get more respect in the society when she educates. So, in fact, the global studies consistently show that educating women leads to better family health, improved economic outcomes, and stronger communities also. Therefore, from the case study, what I am talking from our university, I can give you some more insights which are emerging from this case study. First one is open and distance learning expands access, especially for women who are otherwise excluded from formal education system. Second, it promotes lifelong learning, which is essential in today's dynamic world. Third, it contributes not only to individual empowerment, but also community development. As we hear from so many times, so many years, that an educated woman uplifts not just herself, but her entire family. In the same situation here also in the Open University, the women who are coming from the families, if she educate herself, the entire family will become educated. And the fourth one is open distance learning gives not just education, make them more confident, make them to enter into corporate world, and make them to be more independent, and finally they become more empowered. Hence, open and distance learning definitely a change maker in the empowerment of women. However, when I quote all these experiences, at the same time, we must also have a reflection how to go forward. Therefore, there is a need to strengthen the digital access and infrastructure. That's what Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University is doing now. Very recently, we have established AI lab, where it was inaugurated just 3 days back, making AI education exclusively for the women learners, and we're providing academic and emotional support to the women learners, and increasing awareness about the opportunities available through ODL. Here, I would like to share a significant initiative that our Open University has implemented. We had MOU with VHub, which is a Telangana's government incubation center, first of its kind in India. Our aim is not to give only degrees to the learners, but to develop entrepreneurial skills, making them the women learners, future women entrepreneurs. And this VHub will support these learners in a similar way to see our learners, particularly women learners, to see their career in the corporate world. We had MOU with TCS IAM very recently, that which is a job achievers program, where this opportunity is for all the learners. And very interestingly, we see that many women learners are coming forward to take up this course. So most importantly, what I feel is our education system must be more inclusive, flexible, and responsive to the needs of the women learners. So Women empowerment is not just about providing the opportunities, it is about enabling them to give more choices. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University plays a crucial role in making those choices possible, and we open the doors for women learners. And in doing so, they contribute not just to education, but building a more equitable and empowered society. And I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share some of my views on this platform, and also how Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University is transforming the lives of the many women learners. And also particularly I thank Professor Mary Sunanda for providing this forum to learn from others also. And thank you, and I wish this two-day conference will be more successful and take away with more enthusiastic, powerful, and more inspirational speeches from many more speakers. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your inspiring speech and marvelous, like thoughts on the case study of Dr. BRAOU. Dr. BRAOU was started in the year 1982. At that time, India was 35 years old. There was less gross enrollment ratio in higher education. Then now also our university is contributing a lot. That means those who have passed inter and those who are not able to continue higher education, BA, BCom, BSc, MA, MCom, MSc, now they are able to join with our distance mode Ambedkar Open University, and they are doing marvelous work in their fields and in their future thing. Pushpa ma'am has suggested so many things. Transformation is the true empowerment. It is true. And she mentioned about 5 concepts: lifelong learning, inclusive education, community development, family, open distance learning, and Ambedkar Open University's new ventures to get into the MOUs with VHub, TCS, ION, and so many government officials to make our university more accessible to the students of Telangana and learners from India and across the world. We are venturing into digital world. Madam has already mentioned, Madam is a busy person nowadays. She has the responsibilities on her shoulder. Despite her responsibilities, Madam was able to spare time in our today International Women Empowerment Conference. I really thank you, ma'am, for associating with us. Ambedkar Open University has 120 study centers. If education is given, what happens? Better family is maintained. Family health related issues are maintained well. Economic benefits are there. Stronger communities we can develop with education, okay, for which we are striving. The best practices at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, one thing, only one I will mention. SLM means study learning material. Okay, so there are so many best practices which I will tell in the coming days. I now thank ma'am for giving us what you call bright picture of case studies of so many students. In my introduction, I mentioned about 13. By and large, 1300 courses are there. A case study of a daily wage worker. Now she became a COE of a big company in America, and she is coming and working with us. There are so many stories. There are nearly 1,000 case studies are there, not to mention. And I thank from my bottom of my heart to Pushpa ma'am for coming and spending so much of your valuable time with us and giving us good insights about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. I thank on behalf of ISSMW and convener also. Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Smita P. Shingrap, President, SSMWA Women's Cell, Maharashtra. Madam is principal for Meherbano College of Science and Commerce, Maharashtra, and she is also the executive member of SSMWA, Aloka. Ma'am, we are very honored and grateful to you by looking at your presence and participation in our today International Women Empowerment Conference. Ma'am, this is your time and this is your platform. We are eager to listen from you. Thank you, ma'am. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, madam. Am I audible properly?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll not go through with my PPTs. I just want to share some of my thoughts with you through this conference, if you will permit.
Yeah, ma'am. Why not?
Oh, okay. Honorable Professor Dr. Sinham Al Kafafi, President of Conference. Honorable Professor G. Sunanda, convener of this conference. Honorable dignitaries, distinguished guests, fellow scholars, and my dear friends. Very good afternoon, all of you. It's my pleasure to be a part of this 2 days international conference on multidisciplinary research in women empowerment 2026. I'm thankful to Department of Education, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, Hyderabad, and Social Science and Management Welfare Association, Mr. Brajesh Kumar, and all the organizing team. It is both an honor and a responsibility to speak on the topic that is not just an agenda, but a movement, not just a concept, but a lived reality for millions across the globe. Women empowerment. According to the Indian philosophy, we say that yatra naryantu pujyante, ramante tatra devta. For Indian women, empowerment is not just a topic, it is an emotion, a revolution, and a responsibility. There is no limit to what we as a woman can accomplish. Women empowerment is not about placing women above men, nor is it about competition. It is about creating a world where equality becomes a habit, not a struggle, where every woman has the freedom to dream, to choose, and to achieve. Because a very beautiful expression here, नारी सिर्फ एक शब्द नहीं, एक संपूर्ण कहानी है. नारी सिर्फ एक शब्द नहीं, एक संपूर्ण कहानी है. हर रूप में शक्ति है, हर रूप में निशानी है. For centuries, women have been the silent architect of societies, nurturing families, preserving cultures, and contributing to economies, often without recognizing. Yet today we are leading, innovating, and redefining responsibilities. But let us ask ourselves, is empowerment truly universal? In many corners of the world, a girl still fights for education, a woman still fights for respect, and equality still remain a distant dream. Empower a woman and you empower a nation. Here I want to highlight with a new topic that I think so that it is very important for every woman, that true empowerment begins from within. We often
Yes.
define empowerment as education, financial
Yes.
independence, or leadership. Yes, they matter. But let me ask that how can a woman conquer the world if she is fighting battles within herself? How can she lead if her mind is exhausted and her body is neglected? Yes, I want to give here some of the facts. Like 1 in 2 women in India, it is about 50% experience chronic stress due to work-life pressure and social expectations. 53% of the Indian women, working women especially, reports higher stress level in recent years. 31% of the women feels burnout at work. 47% of women suffer from insomnia, that is what sleep disorders, due to stress. 41% of the women feel socially isolated. And you will actually, these figures are very shocking for everyone that women account for 36.6% of suicides in India, especially in the age group of 18 to 39. So, empowerment, from my point of view, begins with health, both physical and mental. The power of physical health, a strong body builds a strong spirit. When a woman takes care of her health through exercise, proper nutrition, and rest, she is not being selfish. She is building her strength to stand, to lead, and to inspire. From rural fields to corporate offices, Indian women have always been warriors, and in fact, globally also. But even warriors need cares. Let us remember, I suppose, that a healthy woman is not just a person, she is a pillar of a healthy family and a strong nation. Mental health, it is again a silent strength for everyone. In our society, women are often expected to be everything: a daughter, a mother, a wife, a professional. But who asks that, how are you feeling? Yes, mental health is not weakness, it is a foundation of resilience. Even great personalities like Savitribai Phule face immense struggles. Like here, we are attending the conference from B.R. Ambedkar University. So, Dr. Ambedkar's wife, Rama Devi, they all, but they all were have the strong mental strength, and this made her, all of them, the pioneer of the change. Mindfulness and meditation, the inner revolution. This is again the very important part. In the course of life, we forget to pause. Mindfulness teaches us to live in the present. Meditation teaches us to calm the storm within. Even a few minutes of silence every day can reduce stress, increase clarity, build emotional strength. As our ancient Indian wisdom teaches us that when the mind is calm, the world becomes beautiful. The importance of me time, again, maybe this is again from my side that very important for women empowerment, that is what me time. That me time is not a luxury, it is a necessity. A woman does not need to feel guilty for taking time for herself, whether it's reading, walking, praying, or simply sitting quietly. That time is her space to breathe, to heal, to rediscover herself. Because when a woman reconnect within herself, she becomes unstoppable. So that from Indira Nui, if we'll take the example from Indira Nui to Mary Kom, a number of examples we have from homemakers to entrepreneurs. Their success is not just talent, but discipline, mental strength, and balance. So empowerment is not just about reaching the top; it is about staying strong while climbing. True empowerment begins with education, not just literacy, but awareness. It grows with confidence and strengthens with economic independence and flourishes in the environment of respect and opportunity. That's why I say here that उड़ान अभी बाकी है, हौसलों का इम्तिहान बाकी है. उड़ान अभी बाकी है, हौसलों का इम्तिहान बाकी है. अभी तो जमीन छोड़ी है, आसमान छूना बाकी है. So, because sometimes empowerment begins within something as simple as believing in your dreams. A strong woman stands up for herself, but a stronger woman stands up for everyone else. We must move beyond discussion and bring empowerment into action. Encourage voices that are unheard, celebrate achievements without bias, ensure safety, dignity, and equal opportunity. Let us take a pledge, I suppose, that to not just speak about empowerment at everywhere, but to live it every day. Because a truly empowered world is not one where women struggle to be heard, but one where their voices are valued equality. Empowering women is not just about justice, it is about humanity, progress, and a better tomorrow. Self belief is very important because sometimes the biggest barrier is not the society, but the doubt within we have. Here is the question is not what women can do. The question is what they cannot do. उड़ान उन्हीं की होती है. A very, very simple, in a very simple line, it is explained, and I want to dedicate to all the beautiful female faculty join over here in this conference, as well as all the supporters, male members also. Uh, to this quote, I want to end my speech also that उड़ान उड़ान उन्हीं की होती है जो हौसलों से जीते हैं. उड़ान उन्हीं की होती है जो हौसलों से जीते हैं. पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों की परवाज देते हैं. हौसले ही परवास देते हैं। सो हौसले हमारे साथ में है, और जब वो हौसले हमारे साथ में होंगे, so no one can stop us. Women are simply unstoppable. So with this positive thought of this today's conference, 2 days national conference, we continue our work, at our workplace. We'll actually get busy with number of things, but the message or the request, the appeal I want to quote here from this platform, that please take care of your health, because health है तो ही सब कुछ है. Not only the physical health but mental health also, and that will be a true empowerment for every woman. And I salute from my side to all the women's, all the entrepreneurs and all the delegates, those have joined this conference. And thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Open University. Honorable Pushpa Madam also is here, and Honorable Sunanda Madam, and all the dignitaries, for giving me this opportunity and listening to me. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you.
Please unmute, ma'am. Please unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and collaborating with us to take the women empowerment issue at a next level, to a next level. What a thought-provoking.
No voice, ma'am. Hello.
Sunanda, please
Yes, ma'am.
unmute.
Yeah, you said we are talking about women empowerment, not to keep women above men. Okay, just equality process. It is a equality process, and empower a woman, empower a nation. Though it is already talked about so many times, but still it has so much of relevance. You know, like in a school, if all the teachers in all the periods come and tell that learn English, it has a different effect. Okay. And woman is not selfish. What a marvelous quotation, madam. And so your bilingual हिंदी में आपने बात किया, उड़ान अभी बाकी है, आसमान छूना भी बाकी है, और I don't have that much of this thing to, mention all these things. 53 women are working, but still 53% women are working. They are facing so much of problems. 31% women are having burnout. They are having sleep disorders, and they are socially isolated. 18 to 39 years, physically, mentally, they are upset. These are the statistics that make us aware, that make us wake up from our, and once again have this on their mind. We have to what you call celebrate the achievements without bias. We have to celebrate, which it is not happening. Okay, so thank you, ma'am, for making so many observations and so much. Thank you for giving us so much to eat. And your last question was what women cannot do. Okay, all these are so many. So it has lot of meaning and potential and grace and strength to carry forward in our professions. Okay, you have mentioned about Indira Nui, and you mentioned about Pushpa ma'am and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. We are very happy to hear from your speech, such a marvelous and efficient and excellent speech, ma'am. And with these few words, I conclude the session. Now I thank everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is my honor and proud privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks on behalf of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, collaborated with ISSMWA, Bridges Sahab. So I thank first and foremost Professor Dr. Siham Al-Kafafi for a wonderful presentation on women empowerment. There are so many takeaways. Madam is also the advisory board member, SSMWA. Thank you, ma'am, so much. And Professor Shanta Datta, former Vice Chancellor and University of Calcutta. Madam has made pertinent points in her presentation. She gave recommendations for university to carry on, and her data about women and everything is so apt, and there are so many best takeaways. Next, I thank Bless Marisar B. Ramos, Philippines, board member, SSMWA, for coming, joining into this two-day international conference and helping us to understand from your point of view the ordinary things, but yet they are so profound and powerful to recall and be on the job of helping others who are in need of women empowerment. Quality education is so much, so heart touching to me, Then Anupama Chaudhary, Doctor, Principal, Women's College, Calcutta, West Bengal. Ma'am, we also thank you. I next thank Hima Parameshwaran. Next, I thank Senior Professor Ghanta Pushpa Chakrapani, ma'am, Professor of Physics, Director Academic, Dean Faculty Sciences. Then I thank our other members also. Smita, for your candid this thing. And finally, I thank Brijesh Sahab for giving us this opportunity to collaborate with us and making this two-day international conference a grand success. After this, we have the paper presentations of our students, our participants. They are the working lecturers. They are working in universities. They are working in different organizations. So I hand over this session to Dr. Vandana Namdev Banakar, Co-Secretary of Conference, President SSMWA Women's Cell Maharashtra, Head Department of Home Science, Arts and Science College, Aurangabad. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much for being part of our two-day international conference. Thank you one and all. Thank you. Thank you, Brijesh sir, Brijesh Sahab.
Thank you.
Brijesh sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Professor G. Mary Sunanda, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
वंदना मैम शायद जुड़ने आई हैं, तो जुड़ने वाले हैं। आज का जो हमारा पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन का सेशन है, सीरियल नंबर 1 से 20 तक रहेगा।
ओके सर।
आप सभी रेडी रहें। आपके जो प्रेजेंटर्स हैं, इसमें हम 3 बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशंस का भी अवार्ड देने वाले हैं। तो फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड जो आज का हमारे जो प्रेजेंटेशंस रहेंगे, एंड टुमारो भी हम फर्स्ट, सेकंड, थर्ड बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशंस का भी अवार्ड देने वाले हैं। तो आप जो आज का जो हमारे रेफरेंस नंबर 1 से 20 जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, स्कॉलर्स प्रोफेसर्स हैं वो रेडी रहे। मैं वन बाय वन सभी का नाम अनाउंस करता हूँ। तो जिनके पास पीपीटी है वो पीपीटी की तो प्रेजेंटेशन, अदरवाइज विदाउट पीपीटी प्रेजेंटेशन। ओके, सीरियल नंबर 1 डॉक्टर अर्चना सिंह। डॉक्टर अर्चना सिंह। सीरियल नंबर 2 डॉक्टर प्रीति कुमारी।
Yes.
डॉक्टर प्रीति
Yes, sir.
कुमारी।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am present now.
डॉक्टर प्रीति कुमारी मैम, असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स।
Yes, sir. I am audible, sir.
बिहार से है मैम। यस
Sir, I am audible, sir.
यस ऑडिबल।
Yes. Thank
प्लीज
you,
स्टार्ट
sir.
मैम, ओनली 5 मिनट।
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am starting. Good evening, sir, and good evening today, chairperson, and all teachers and delegates and resource person and students, research scholar. Thank you for giving me today session, and I am presenting my topic, the role of women in economic development. So, women's participation in economic development has emerged as a critical area of study and action in recent decades. The multifaceted, multifaceted role of women in driving economic growth, the historical context, theoretical framework, empirical evidence, and policy interventions surrounding this issue, bringing with a historical overview. It tracks the evolution of women's economic role towards in economic empowerment, drawing upon feminist economic theories and human capital theory, the underlying factors shaping women's participation in the workforce, and the presented barriers training through an analysis of empirical evidence, including case study and statistical data. Economic impact of women's participation is demonstrating correlation between gender in inclusive policies and overall economic growth. It also explores the business case for gender diversity, emphasizing the tangible benefits for business and economics. Additionally, the key policy legal reforms to initiate improving access to education and work-life balance, drawing upon success stories and lessons learned from various contexts. The effective strategies for wedding women's economic participation and underscore the importance of sustained efforts in the regards. Finally, the future directions and recommendations for policymakers, business, and civil society actors emphasize the need of continued investments in gender inclusive economic policies and practices. By prioritizing women's economic empowerment, societies can unlock the full potential of economics, driving sustainable development and fostering greater equality and prosperity for all. And lastly, my I'm include my conclusion also. In present scenario, the role of women in economic development is increasingly, no doubt, recognizing as a indispensable for achieving sustainable and inclusive growth. Over the years, significant progress has been made. The years significant process has been made in understanding the promoting women's economic development empowerment, but challenging persisted and much work remains to be done. From historical barriers to emerging opportunities, the journey towards gender equality in the economic shapes has been marked by resilience, innovations, and collaboration through history. Women has played crucial roles in the driving economic growth in present scenario in all sectors, primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector, and in all departments. Women has participating a major role. Without women empowerment, we cannot success in our society, in our country, in any sectors, in anywhere. So in present this year, women empowerment, we all have to take a oath to push up in our area for women empowerment and for our society and our for students, and we will have to in the coming generation future. So thank you for giving me today opportunity. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Next is number 3, Dr. Manjushree Misra.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Manjushree Misra, ma'am, Assistant
Yes, sir,
Professor
I'm here.
Management, TRS College, Rewa, Madhya Pradesh से.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please start, ma'am. Only 5 minutes.
Okay. Is my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you, sir. एक second.
Please click 1 number slide.
Yes, sir. There is some technical issue with me. Started from the first slide. सर कुछ टेक्निकल इश्यूज के कारण स्लाइड शेयर नहीं हो पा रही.
Okay, ma'am. आपने मेल किया है क्या मैम?
नो सर.
आप फिर से ओपन करिए ना उसको. अभी आपका कंक्लूजन 20 नंबर्स का स्लाइड ओपन था, उसको आप 1 नंबर पे करके आप उसको चालू कर सकते हैं.
ओके सर, ठीक है, आई विल ट्राई.
Yes, first slide, ma'am. Please start.
Okay, thank you, sir. Before I proceeding, I give my great gratitude to all my respected faculties who have been join us. Myself, Dr. Manjushree Mishra from Government TRS College, Rewa, Madhya Pradesh. My research topic is role of women in Viksit Bharat. Sir, ये change नहीं हो रहा है. स्लाइड का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है सर. मैं बिना स्लाइड पीपीटी के ही प्रेजेंट करना पड़ेगा मुझे. आई एम ऑडिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू?
Yes.
Research paper on role of women in Viksit Bharat. My research abstract is the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047 aims to transform India into a developed nation by its 100th year of independence. Women, constituting nearly half of the Indian population, play a crucial role in achieving these goals. This paper examines the role of women in economic growth, education, governance, and social transformation. It is also analyzed recent data on women participation and highlights challenges and policy recommendation for achieving inclusive development. Introduction. India's development discourses has shifted from women development to women-led development, recognizing women as an active contribution rather than passive beneficiaries. The concept of Viksit Bharat emphasizes inclusive growth, innovation, and sustainability, area where women's participation is essential. Women contribute to multiple sectors, including education, entrepreneurship, governance, and the workforce, making them central to India's growth story. My research objective is to analyze the role of women in India journey towards Viksit Bharat 2047. The second one is to examine women participation in economic and social development. The third is to evaluate statistical trend in female workforce participation and education. Fourth point is to identify challenges faced by women in contributing to the national development. And the last one is to suggest policy measures of enhancing women-led development. The role of women in Viksit Bharat. First aspect is in economic contribution. Women are increasingly contributing through entrepreneurship and employment. Government schemes like Mudra loans and Stand Up India promote women-led enterprises. Women economics inclusion is central to achieving inclusive growth. The second aspect is workforce participation. Female labor force participation rate, FLFPR, increased from 23.3% to 41.7% in 2023 to 24. Workers' population ratio raised to 40.3% in 2023 and 24. This indicates significant improvement through still below global benchmarks. And the third one is education and skill development. Female enrollment in higher education increased significantly. Women constitute 43% of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics graduates, one of the highest globally. This is strengthened India innovation and research economic ecosystem. And fourth aspect is political and social empowerment. Policies promoting gender equality are increasing women presentation. Social programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao improve education and health outcomes. Fourth aspect is women in innovation and leadership. Women are emerging as a leader in startup and micro, small, and medium enterprises, research and development, digital economy. This aligns with the goal of knowledge-driven economy. My research design is the study is based on the descriptive and analytical research design, focusing on understanding the role of women in achieving the vision of Viksit Bharat. My source of data is primary data can be collected through questionnaire, interviews, survey, and observation. And the example of respondents are working women, entrepreneurs, teachers, self-help groups members. And my secondary data is collected from books, research journal, government reports, and websites. My sample size is 50 to 100 respondent. Data collection tool, the following tools can be used: the structure questionnaire, interview schedule, survey forms, and data analysis techniques. Data can be analyzed using percentage method, tables, and the data analysis is, the first question is analyzed by me is workforce trends of women. In 2027 and the female LFPR ratio is 23.3%. And now in 2023 and 24, it increases drastically by 41.7%. The growth is plus 18.4%. And worker population ratio is 22% in 2017 and 18. It increases in 2003 and 24 is 40.3%. The growth is plus 18.3%. And the second question is analyzed by me is educational trend of women. So female GER is 22.9% earliest, and recent is going to be 13.2%. And STMP participation is low, and now it's recent is 43%. What is the impact of all these things in a economics impact? The first is increased participation leads to higher GDP growth potential. Studies suggest that gender inclusion significantly improve productivity and national income. What are the challenges faced by the women now? The first one is gender wages gap, in formal sector jobs, safety and unpaid domestic work burden, and limited representation in leadership. And what are the government initiatives? The first one is Mission Shakti. Second one is majority beneficiaries are women, Stand Up India and Skill India Mission. These are the government initiative taken by to improve women empowerment in India. And my finding is the studies, first, women participation in education and employment has increased. Second is women contribute positively to the economic growth through entrepreneurship, agriculture, and service sector. Government schemes and empowerment programs have improved women's social and economic status. Women play an important role in improving family health, education, and community welfare. Participation of women in leadership and decision making is increasing, but still limited at higher level. Rural women contribute significantly to the agriculture and household income. Gender inequality, lack of skill, and social barriers remains major challenges for the women. Suggestion and recommendation. My first suggestion is promote equal pay and workplace equality. Second is increase investment in female education and digital skill. Third, provide childcare and safe transportation facilities. Fourth, encourage women entrepreneurship through financial support. And fifth, strengthen gender sensitive policies and governance. And now I'm going to conclude my research paper here. My conclusion is women are not just participants, but derives of India development journey. The transition of women-led development is crucial for achieving the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. While significant progress has been made in education and workforce participation, addressing structural challenges is essential to unlock the full potential of women in nation building. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next, serial number 4, Dr. Suresh Kumar. Dr. Suresh Kumar. Okay, next serial number 5, Radhika Nerela. Okay, next serial number 6, Srimati Ratna Porte.
So, sir, good afternoon. I am available, sir. Radhika Nirala.
Yes, Radhika Nerela, ma'am. Yes, please
Yes,
start,
sir, I
ma'am.
am
Research
ready.
scholar of
Yes, sir.
Computer Science, University of
Yes, sir.
Hyderabad. Please start, ma'am. Only
Yes, sir.
5
Yes,
minutes.
sir. Yes, my screen is sharing, sir. Is available, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
Yes. Good morning, respected distinguished delegates and our fellow researchers. It is my pleasure to present my work titled From Scroll to Scan, a behavior study on digital risk and prevention among women. This study focuses on how everyday digital behaviors can unintentionally expose women to cyber risk. Introduction. With the rapid growth of internet usage and smartphones, women are actively participating in the digital platforms such as social media and online shopping and digital banking. This increased engagement has also led to rise in cyber threats, including harassment, phishing, and financial fraud. According to National Crime Reports Bureau, cybercrime cases in India have been increasing steadily, highlighting the seriousness of this issue. Cybersecurity refers to protecting the digital identity, personal data, and privacy online. It includes safe usage of social media, online banking, messaging apps, and emails. In simple terms, it means using the internet responsibly and securely to avoid cyber threats. So common cyber threats, whatever we are facing today. Women face various types of cyber threats today. These include cyber harassment, identity theft, phishing attacks, cyberbullying, and financial frauds. Each of these threats not only affects financial security, but also impacts emotional well-being and confidence. The key focus of my study is on behavior patterns. Common risk behaviors include interacting with unknown users and social media, trusting attractive online offers, clicking unknown links, sharing sensitive information such as OTPs. Research indicates that a majority of cyber incidents occur due to human behavior rather than rather than technical issues. So the common type age groups, whatever we are facing real time. This study also identifies various variations across age groups. Young users are more vulnerable to cyberbullying and misuse of personal data. Middle-aged group users are more exposed to online shopping frauds. Older individuals are more prone to OTP scams and financial fraud due to limited digital awareness. Some of the case studies have provided here. So recently, whatever it has happened in 2026, Hyderabad's case, a woman received a message containing a fake wedding invitation link. Upon clicking the link, malware was installed on her device, leading to unauthorized access to her bank details. As a result, she has lost approximately 2.17 lakhs. One more case study, the same phishing attack, unnecessary mails, whatever we are getting that instead of directly we are opening that mails and trusting that mails and sending the OTPs. Recently, a 49 years old woman received a fake message. The same thing, she has lost the same amount. Digital arrest scam. It is also the case highlights how cyber criminals use fear, authority, and psychological pressure rather than just technical hacking to target victims, especially women. And the government has taken a lot of initiatives regarding this um, acts regarding the women, how to avoid this according to the law, and what are the sections they are provided. And the key challenges are nothing but lack of awareness about the cyber threats, difficulty in tracking cyber criminals, and no awareness regarding for reporting and such type of things. We have a lack of challenges in this. And these are the government initiatives taken by the according against the women, how to decrease the cyber threats. The Government of India has launched several initiatives. The National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal allows easy complaint registrations. Helplines like 1930 provide immediate support. Programs like Disha promote digital literacy. These initiatives aims to promote a safer digital environment. Multiple helplines are also available for women's safety. These include 112 for emergencies, 181 for women support, and 1930 for cyber fraud. These services provide immediate assistance and encourage reporting. And the recommendations are include the cybersecurity in educational curriculum, encourage reporting of cybercrimes, providing free training programs, fast-track cybercrime units in India, promote women participation in cyber security careers. Women-centric cybersecurity programs also need to provide. So women-led cybersecurity innovation labs should be provided. Industry academia collaboration for women internship programs, and also they need to provide a women-led cybersecurity startup incubators. So my conclusion is nothing but it is essential for empowering women in the digital era by ensuring secure online participation. And also continuous awareness, digital literacy, and preventive education help reduce cyber threats against women. Strong legal frameworks and strict enforcement improve protection against cybercrime. Responsible online behavior promotes a safer and more trustworthy digital environment. A secure cyberscape enables women to participate confidentially and independently in digital activities. Low participation of women in cybersecurity jobs is a major challenge that reduces diversity and weakens cyber defense. Thank you, one and all, for your kind cooperation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Radhika, ma'am, for presentation. Next serial number 6, Srimati Ratna Porte. Okay, next serial number Anita Chaudhary. Serial number 8, Anita Chaudhary. Okay, serial number 9, Kalpana Sharma. Okay, serial number 10, Dr. Sukriti Ghosh. Okay, next serial number 11, Anjali Devi.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Devi, ma'am, research scholar of English, Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Yes, please start, ma'am. Only 5 minutes.
Okay, sir. Sure. Okay, is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. So good afternoon, all. The topic of my presentation is visible suffering and invisible privilege, the intersectional gaps in the representation of women in Indian OTT narratives. With the rise of OTT platforms, we see an increasing number of strong female characters in Indian media. These narratives often celebrate independence, agency, and empowerment. However, a critical question arises: is the empowerment equally accessible to all women, or is it shaped by deeper social hierarchies like caste and class? So media representation tend to present empowerment as a universal experience in the society, but in the society like India, where caste and class deeply structures access to resources and dignity, this assumption becomes problematic. The paper addresses the gap by examining how empowerment is represented differently for marginalized and elite women. My study aims to analyze how women are represented in OTT narratives, to explore the intersection of caste, class, and gender, and how to compare how empowerment is structured differently across social locations. So I use the concept of intersectionality, which help us to understand how gender oppression overlaps with caste and class. I can conduct a comparative textual analysis of 4 OTT shows, that is Leela, Trial by Fire, Bombay Begums. These are aired on Netflix, and 4 more shots, please, which is on Prime Video. So for the first one, in Leela, the protagonist Shalini lives in a dystopian regime where purity laws regulate social order. Women's bodies are controlled and deviation leads to punishment and exile. In Trial by Fire, Neelam's Krishnamurthi's journey is as a mother seeking justice after the tragedy, reveals how institutions like legal, bureaucratic, and political fail ordinary citizens. Her struggle is long, exhausting, and emotionally draining, showing that access to justice is deeply unequal. These category of women is highly visible in media, but primarily through suffering. In Leela, Shalini is constantly watched and punished. Her identity is stripped down to her role within rigid system. Her representation, her resistance is quiet and risky, but it is not celebrated empowerment, but a fight for basic survival. Similarly, in Trial by Fire, Neelam's life becomes defined by loss and legal struggle. She spends years navigating courts and systems that are slow and indifferent. Her agency exists, but it is constrained by institutional barriers. What is important here is that empowerment is not portrayed as freedom or choice. Instead, it appears as endurance, resilience, and ability to continue despite the systematic oppression. Another key point here is that these women are not shown in spaces of mobility and self-expression. The narratives are constructively limited. The system always remains powerful than the individual. So while these women are central to the story, they are positioned in a way where their suffering becomes the primary lens through which they are seen. In contrast, in Bombay Begums, and let's talk about Bombay Begums first, women presented here such as Rani and Fatima, who has who operate within elite urban spaces where they have access to education, career, and financial independence. Similarly, in Four More Shots, Please follows characters like Damini, Anjana, and Umang. Their lives revolve around friendship, sexuality, and career struggles and personal growth, framed within a modern urban lifestyle. In these narratives, empowerment is presented very differently. Here, women are shown as active decision makers. They make choices about their careers, relationships, and bodies. Um, However, a critical absence stands out. Caste is almost completely invisible. This struggle these women face is real, but they are framed as individual challenges, emotional conflicts, or professional obstacles. They are not shown as being shaped by structural inequalities like caste or class. This creates a version of empowerment that appears universal, but it actually rooted in privilege. These narratives suggest that empowerment is about freedom of choice, self expression, and personal success, but they do not question who has the access to the choices in the first place. So when we place these two representations side by side, the contrast become very clear. In Leela and Trial by Fire, women are defined by their struggle within oppressive systems. Their empowerment is limited and conditional. In Bombay Begums and Four More Shots, Peace, women are defined by their independence and choices, with far greater control over their bodies. The key difference is that caste and structural inequality are central in one of the narratives and absent in the other. This creates a hierarchy where some women are shown struggling to survive and others are shown thriving in choosing. This difference is not accidental. It reflects how media selectively represent empowerment. These observations suggest that OTT construct empowerment in a fragmented way by focusing on suffering in one context and ignoring structural inequality in another. It creates two separate narratives that rarely intersect. As a result, empowerment is not presented in a shared experience, but as something dependent on social location and privilege. This raises an important question. Can empowerment be considered real if it excludes the realities of marginalized women? So OTT media is not uniform or inclusive concept. It is shaped by caste, class, and access to power. For the media to truly contribute to empowerment, or let's say women empowerment, it must adopt more intersectional approach that includes marginalized voices, not privileged ones. And what we see in Indian media is not just representation, it is ranking of women experience, where empowerment is shaped by who is allowed visibility, voice, and choice. So this is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Next, real number 12, Trina Mitra Ghosh. Trina Mitra Ghosh. Okay, next real number 13, Dr. Sunita. Dr. Sunita Janawa. Okay, next real number 14.
Trina Mitra Ghosh, sir. Serial
Yes, ma'am.
number 12. Serial number 12, Trina Mitra Ghosh.
Yes, Trina Mitra Ghosh, ma'am. Please start, ma'am. Only 5 minutes. Please start.
Okay.
If any want to presentation, please ready.
Good afternoon, sir. My topic is War, International Politics and Women, and analyzing of women's victimhood and marginalization from a feminist perspective. Introduction. Women symbolize nature and creation. She embodies compassion, love, and motherhood, quality inherently opposed to destruction, making her less inclined and perhaps unable to desire it. When we think of war, we imagine tanks, missiles, and soldiers. But there is another front line, one without weapons, yet marked by daily struggle. That front line is the lives of women. The aftermath of the Iraq War and the instability of 2026 reveal that war is not only about territorial control. It fractured the most vulnerable layer of society, and women are at the center of that fracture. The ancient Indian Sanatan traditions, women are often portrayed as warrior and powerful figures. However, even in these perspectives, women largely act within framework shaped by male authority. The frequently engaged in battle based on decisions made by men, and ultimately victory is often attributed to male figures. Even the creation of Mahishasura goddess Durga, as the slayer of Mahishasura, reflects this dynamic. She is said to have been created by male gods to defeat a demon whom they themselves could not conquer. The highlights a paradox. While women are symbolized as embodiment of power, their inner agency is often meditated or constructed through paracritical structures. Women beyond statistics. Statistics tell us thousands of women are displaced and subjected to violence. But beyond number lies a deeper reality. A mother who sacrificed her own food to serve her child, a widow who single hardly sustain her family, a young girl forced to abandon her education. Where is not just damage for women, it dismantles the very structure of their lives. Women bodies as weapon of war. It contemporary conflict, rape, sexual violence, and not merely a crime. Their strategy to humiliate enemy, to spread fear within countries, to destroy family and social cohesion. The battlefield is not only on land, it is also inscribed on women bodies. Insecurity and invisible confinement. Even cities like Baghdad, many women live as invisible positions. They cannot move freely. They cannot work safely. They are deprived of education. The restriction of freedom is one of the most yet unseen consequence of war, the double burden victim and survivor, were forced women into a paradoxical position. They are victim of violence. They are also primarily agent of survival for families and communities. Critical insight. Feminist international relations theory teaches us that war is never gender natural. War is gender process. Power struggle are largely patriarchal. The burden of suffering this opportunity falls on women. The case of Iraq demonstrates that the truly understand of war, we must look beyond boom and bullets to the human experience, especially that of women. Conclusion: the conflict in Iraq is 2020 in 2026 confront us with a hard truth. Women are not only victims of war, they are also the silent author of its history. War does not truly end when the guns fall silent. Peace begins only when women's life return to dignity and normality. Thank you all for giving me your time and attention. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Nice presentation. Next, serial number 13, Dr. Sunita Janawa. Dr. Sunita. Okay, next serial number 14, Dr. Vinod Kumar Yadav. Dr. Vinod Kumar. Okay, next serial number 15, Urja Ariwan. Urja. Okay, next serial number 16, Dr. H.S. Rakesh. Dr. H.S. Rakesh. Okay, next serial number 17, Indrajit Kaur. Indrajit Kaur. The next serial number 18, Professor Mamta Sharma. Professor Mamta Sharma. Okay, next serial number 19, Dr. Sanjeev Singh Bhadoria. Dr. Sanjeev Singh Bhadoria. Okay, next last serial number 20, Dr. Sumita Bhattacharya.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Dr. Sumita Bhattacharya, Assistant Professor of Political Science, Gurucharan University in Silchar, Assam. Yes, please start from only 5 minutes.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir. The title of my paper is Women Empowerment in India, Assessing the Impact of Government Welfare Schemes. Women empowerment refers to the process of enhancing women's ability to make strategic life choices and participate fully in economic, social, and political spheres. In India, despite constitutional guarantees of equality, women have historically faced discrimination and marginalization. To address these issues, the government has introduced various welfare and development schemes aimed at empowering women and improving their quality of life. These schemes play a vital role in bridging gender gaps and promoting inclusive growth. Women empowerment includes multiple dimensions: social empowerment, economic empowerment, political empowerment, legal empowerment. Empowerment is not just welfare oriented but also transformative, enabling women to challenge existing inequalities. Major governmental schemes for women empowerment. Number one is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. This is launched to address declining child sex ratio and promote girls' education. The impact is increased awareness about gender equality and improved school enrollment of girls. The second important government scheme is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. This is a financial inclusion scheme providing bank accounts to the unbanked population. The impact is enhanced women's access to banking, savings, and direct benefit transfers. The third very important government welfare scheme is Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. It provides free LPG connections to women from poor households, and the impact is improved health conditions and reduced drudgery caused by traditional cooking methods. The fourth welfare measure is self-help group under DAY-NRLM, that is Din Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. It promotes collective savings, credit access, and entrepreneurship among rural women. The impact is it strengthens financial independence and community participation. The next important welfare scheme of the government is Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. This is a savings scheme for the girl child. The impact of it is it encourages long-term financial security and investment in girls' future. The impact of government schemes. First is economic empowerment. It increases access to credit and financial services, the growth of women entrepreneurship, and enhance participation in the workforce. Social empowerment. It improves literacy and educational levels and greater awareness of rights and gender equality. Third impact is health and well-being. Better maternal and child health, reduced exposure to indoor pollution, improved sanitation and hygiene awareness. The fourth impact is political participation. There has been an increased involvement of women in Panchayati Raj institutions, and there's a greater decision-making power at the local levels. There are certain challenges and limitations despite the progress, and they are like lack of awareness about schemes in rural areas, implementation gaps and bureaucratic delays, patriarchal norms restricting women's autonomy, digital divide limiting access to online services, and inadequate monitoring and evaluation. There are some suggestions for improvement, like strengthening awareness campaign at grassroots levels, ensuring effective implementation and transparency, promoting digital literacy among women, and encouraging community participation and NGO involvement, and overall integrating the different schemes for a holistic approach. My concluding remarks. Government schemes have played a significant role in advancing women empowerment in India by addressing economic, social, and health-related issues. While notable progress has been made, the success of these initiatives depend on effective implementation, awareness, and societal change. A collaborative effort involving government, civil society, and communities is essential to achieve true empowerment and gender equality. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Nice presentation. If anyone to presentation.
Hello, sir. I am Bita Misra. I want to present here. Can I? Hello, sir.
Yes,
Am I audible?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Serial number में
Sir, I don't have list, so I can't find
तो
out.
मैम कल tomorrow रहेगा, कल रहेगा आपका।
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
जी, आप अपना अभी न्यू लिस्ट में देख सकते हैं, तो आप अपना डिटेल मेल कर दीजिएगा।
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
If any want to presentation serial number 1 to serial number 1 से 20, अगर किसी का 1 नंबर से 20 नंबर तक का अगर कोई प्रेजेंटेशन देना चाहता है तो अपना प्रेजेंटेशन कर सकता है, तो फिर हम आपका सेशन समापन की ओर करेंगे, क्योंकि आज का जो प्रेजेंटेशन था 1 से 20 तक ही था।
सॉरी फॉर दैट सर, अगर आपकी अनुमति हो तो मैं दे सकता हूँ सर।
नो सर, नो, इसमें हमारा जो बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशन के अवार्ड रहते हैं उसमें प्रॉब्लम्स जाती हैं, इसलिए हम जो प्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे 1 से 20 में आज, है ना।
तो सर जैसे मेरा 135 है अभी, है ना?
कल रहेगा सर, कल आपका।
अच्छा, कल होगा, ठीक है सर।
हमारे जो इसमें हम बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशन का भी अवार्ड देते हैं, फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड, हम 1 से 20 को ही आज का बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशन देंगे, उसमें से जो प्रेजेंटेशन करेगा।
सर कल कितने बजे तक हो पाएगा लगभग?
सेम टाइमिंग सर।
ओके ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू सर।
ओके, इफ एनी वांट टू प्रेजेंटेशन सीरियल नंबर 1 से 20 तक। ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। यस, फिर इस सेशन को समापन की ओर करते हैं।
Thank you, sir.
ओके, थैंक यू मैम। आज का जो हमारा जो कॉन्फ्रेंस था वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट पर था, जो कॉन्फ्रेंस को हमारे जो ऑर्गेनाइज किया है डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन, डॉक्टर BR अम्बेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी हैदराबाद एंड सोशल साइंस एंड मैनेजमेंट वेलफेयर एसोसिएशन वुमेन सेल के द्वारा यह संगोष्ठी आयोजित किया गया था। इसमें आज के जो हमारे अच्छे स्पीकर्स थे, तो सभी ने अपना स्पीच के माध्यम से अच्छे वुमेन पर अपना लेक्चर दिया है, तो मैं उन सभी का आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ और धन्यवाद भी करता हूँ, तो वो सभी हमसे जुड़े थे। और जो आज के हमारे पेपर प्रेजेंटेशंस थे, उन्होंने भी अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशंस दिया है, उसका भी मैं धन्यवाद करता हूँ और आभार व्यक्त भी करता हूँ कि आप सभी जुड़े और अपना पेपर में प्रेजेंटेशंस किया। इसके लिए भी मैं इसका जो आज का जो हमारा बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशंस का था, वो हम कल लास्ट में समापन सत्र में उसका हम करेंगे अनाउंस। तो कल भी हमारे 3 बेस्ट प्रेजेंटेशंस रहेंगे, तो कल आज का और कल का हम कल ही उसको समापन सत्र में करेंगे। तो यह सत्र हम यहीं पे समाप्त करते हैं। अगर आप में से किसी का लिस्ट में नाम नहीं है तो वो अपना बेसिक डिटेल्स हमारे मेल पे कर सकते हैं, तो कल वो अपना प्रेजेंटेशन कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि आज का जो हमारा प्रेजेंटेशन था 20 नंबर तक ही था, उनमें से बहुत से लोगों ने प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दिया है। तो यह सत्र पर हम यहीं पे समाप्त करते हैं।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर।
बात करता हूँ आप सभी कल पूरे 12 बजे जो है, कल भी हमारे 2 सत्र चलेंगे, एक तो गेस्ट लेक्चर और सेकंड सत्र पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन का रहेगा। तो कल भी हम सभी को चांस देंगे। ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच कि आप सभी जुड़े। एंड दिस सेशन आप सभी लेफ्ट हो सकते हैं। कल आप सभी 12 बजे जुड़े हमसे।
थैंक यू सो मच सर।